So let's get started with Diddy, man. Let's get started with Diddy. Let's do that. Can we do that? Can we get started with Diddy? Got his case dismissed. You know what I'm saying? The homie Diddy got his case dismissed. Can we start with Diddy? Well, some of his, let me not say his case. Some of his cases has been dismissed. And we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we got this ongoing saga. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Diddy, I'm not here to say whether he did it or whether he didn't. It's more leaning towards that he did do it. That's not what we're here talking about. I just want to stick strictly to what's going on with the case. So what's going on with right now? We know Diddy's facing multiple lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? But a judge just dismissed 5 of them things, 5 of the 9 charges in a high-profile case that was brought on by the producer Rodney Little Rod Jones Jr. Say that 3 times fast. But some of the most serious allegations, including sexual assault and human trafficking, are still moving forward. Those things are still on the table, right? So today I want to be talking about, is this a victory for Diddy, or is this just the beginning of more troubles? How should the music industry handle allegations against these powerful figures like Diddy and other things? And does this case signal a cultural shift in how we hold artists accountable, man? And you know what I'm saying, after this video, I would love to hear y'all thoughts, you know what I'm saying, as I discuss this and debate with myself, or throw some debatable questions out here. I would love to hear some feedback from y'all later on after the video. So what's at stake with this lawsuit, man? What is at stake with this lawsuit? Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. was a producer on Diddy's album, the 2023 Love album, Off the Grid. And this is his. I haven't listened to the album. I haven't really corroborated those claims, but he says that he was a producer on there, and he claims that during this time he was drugged and coerced into hiring prostitutes, forced into non-consensual sexual acts, manipulated and threatened over his career, and not properly paid for the work on his album. So he got he got screwed over more ways than one, as we see. You know what I'm saying? Now we know Diddy's team, of course, they're gonna come out and deny it. So they're denying all of the allegations, calling this a money grab, right? And an attempt to exploit his celebrity status. So with that being said, my first debatable question, or how I'm setting up this video, you know what I'm saying, with a debatable question is this just another example of celebrity facing opportunistic lawsuits, or is there a real pattern of misconduct, right? That's the real question. Is it a real pattern of misconduct? That's a I would say a necessary point, you know what I'm saying? How would I necessarily go with that? Is there a pattern of misconduct? Well, he hasn't been, and when they say pattern of misconduct, we know that he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. We did see the video. You know what I'm saying? We did see the video, but he has not been convicted of anything yet. And that video I'm talking about is the Cassie video. This isn't on the same docket. I don't think so, right? I don't think this is on the same docket, but I really don't know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Because if the judge is throwing out some of these cases, is it being looked at as opportunistic, right? Is it being looked at as that? Is the judge saying, I think you just overreaching, overstepping your boundaries when it comes to it? I can't say that it's a pattern of misconduct, because we really don't know what's going on. It's a lot of allegations, but I can't put it towards a pattern of misconduct. Just because somebody alleges that you do something doesn't necessarily mean that there's a pattern of misconduct, right? So that's kind of where I fall at on that question. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna kind of leave that to you. I want y'all to get in the comments and let me know. To keep pushing forward. So why did the judge dismiss some of these charges, right? Of the 9 charges, the judge threw out 5, including the racketeering, which was the RICO charge, said it not enough evidence of an organized criminal enterprise. Ain't enough evidence. Y'all just trying to throw stuff. Ain't enough evidence. Intentional infliction of emotional stress. They say it didn't meet the legal standards. Did not meet the legal standards. Breach of contract. Said that there was no clear contract violation. We don't see that. Negligence and fraud. So the evidence just wasn't strong enough to show negligence and fraud, right? So those were the charges that were dismissed, or some of the charges. But 4 of those charges do remain, including the SA charge and the human trafficking charge. So another point that I would say is debatable is, does the dismissal of these charges weaken the case against Diddy, or does it just narrow the focus to the most serious allegations? I'm gonna say that again. Does the dismissal of these charges, right, weaken the case against Diddy, or does it just narrow the focus to the most serious allegations? Now, I think it's twofold. It depends on how you look at it. It's the perspective of things, right? For Diddy, on the defensive side, the dismissal of the 5 charges is a win. Of course, it's a win. We got a lot of these charges knocked out. Get them out of the way. We ain't even got to fight those. They gone, right? It eliminates the RICO. That's a huge claim. You know what I'm saying? That could paint him as the head of an organized criminal enterprise, RICO. So of course we gotta get that shit. I get that shit up out of here, man. Now, without it, that case might seem less about systemic abuse and more about individual incidents. Without it, the case might seem less about systemic abuse and more about individual incidents. Is that a good thing? I would say when it comes to individual incidents, because now it's not a pattern of misconduct. These are just things that happened in a vacuum, so to speak. If they did happen, and it might not necessarily been my intent, because now it's more so intention. When it comes to individual incidents, when it's systemic abuse, that means that, you know, it's baked in. This is what we do. This is how we get down over here. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side, on Jones's side, the plaintiff's side, the guy who is bringing this case up, the core SA and human trafficking claims, they still remain. They still in the building, you know what I'm saying? Which is arguably more damaging than the financial dispute or the breach of contract. Think about that for a second. Those claims are way more damaging, and they probably carry a stiffer, harder penalty than the others that were dismissed, right? The financial dispute or the breach of contract, but the SA, the assault charge, and the human trafficking is still there. That's still there. It shifts the focus away from being business disputes and zeroes in on it being more of a personal misconduct situation. Like I said, there's 2 ways to look at it. It's 2 ways to really look at it, right? Really, really is 2 ways to look at it. And, you know, that's Diddy, man. That damn Diddy, boy. Woo. Now the bigger picture here, is Diddy untouchable? I'm gonna say no, because we see that he is locked up, right? We know that this lawsuit, excuse me, is just one of several lawsuits that's issued, being legally issued to Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And the cases that he's facing or whatever. We know Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, recently settled a lawsuit accusing him of years of abuse. Other former associates have also spoken out, painting Diddy having a disturbing pattern of behavior, of misconduct. baby oil and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They brought all that into attention. So let's ask. So, like I said, we're gonna be asking questions when it comes to this. Should celebrities like Diddy be given the benefit of the doubt, or does his past make these allegations more believable? Should celebrities like Diddy be given the benefit of the doubt, or does his past make these allegations more believable? Now, some would argue that powerful men in the industry have protected each other for years, and now we're finally seeing a reckoning, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's been going on. I'm pretty sure the game is the game when it comes to that. Hey, you powerful, I'm powerful. We gotta, you know what I'm saying, look out for each other, and we'll step on the little guy. I'm pretty sure that happens all the time. And then there's others that believe that these lawsuits like these are designed to shake down celebrities. Say it's designed to bring them down, knowing that many will settle just to avoid the bad press. Is that what's going on when it comes to Diddy? Is he just settling? Or any of these guys? You know what I'm saying? We just saw what happened with Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't settle. Jay-Z said, nah, take that shit to trial. You want to go? Let's go. You want to play? We're going to play. Diddy had the case dismissed. I mean, Jay-Z had the case dismissed. Right? So I don't, is he, I don't, like I said, I don't think he's untouchable. He's locked up right now, so he can't be untouchable. But, we just going to have to see how it shakes out for the most part, man. Really got to see how it shakes out. But to answer, kind of to get, how do we answer that, right? How do we really answer that? Because it's more like public perception, and this is where this is kind of where the cross section, the legal system and the public kind of cross. You know what I'm saying? From a legal standpoint, Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, and I said that Diddy, you know what I'm saying? They talk about pattern of misconduct. Other than him being arrested, he hasn't had a trial yet, so he's technically is innocent until proven guilty. No matter how many accusations he's facing, he deserves a fair legal process, right? His due process, he deserves a fair trial, all of that good stuff. Now, from a public perspective, though, the history of lawsuits and accusations, especially that Cassie video and the settlement, it's of course that's gonna make people skeptical. It's gonna make people look at Diddy like, nah, I think he did that shit, right? If multiple people are making similar claims, it creates a pattern that's kind of hard to ignore. You know what I mean? If all of these people are showing up, maybe he did do something, right? That's what people would say. Well, maybe he did do something. Can't really ignore that, right? But on the other hand, we've seen false accusations in Hollywood, right? I.e., the example I gave with Jay-Z. So should we hold judgment until all the facts come out? I think we should hold judgment till all the facts come out. Let this man, let the trial play through like it's supposed to play through, right? I think we should. Now, let's talk about the industry's reaction. Silence or support. When we talk about him, we talk about the homies. Diddy still has brand deals, business deals, partnerships, industry ties and connections and things. But some companies have already distanced themselves from Puff. Right? We saw that happening. Let's throw another question out there. Should the industry take a stand, or is it unfair to judge before the legal process plays out? I mean, we saw this happen also with Jonathan Majors, right? We saw it happen with JM. The homie John I'm calling him John. The homie Jonathan, right? Soon as the allegations came up, he lost a lot of brand deals. A lot of people stepped away. Commercials didn't air like the one he had for the Army, right? We can even go into the Tory versus Meg situation, right? Tory Lanez was accused of shooting Meg. Artists quickly, you know what I'm saying? They took sides. People chose a side in that. But with Diddy, it's been hush. Nobody's coming to his defense, and nobody is also showing up to admonish him. Now, is this fear? Is this just business? Is it loyalty? What is it? What is it? Do artists have a responsibility to speak out, or should they wait until a verdict is reached? Other than the ones who felt that they wronged him, should other artists come through and say, nah, Diddy is piece of, Diddy a piece of shit? Should that happen? Should that happen? Now, I don't think it's a clear rule book as to how things should happen. When Tory was accused of shooting Meg, artists, we know that the artists quickly took the side. We can go on to R. Kelly crimes came to light, the industry distant, they moved away from Kelly, won't even play their music no more, right? But for some reason with Diddy, it's crickets. Nobody's throwing you can't play Juicy or Biggie song or you know what I'm saying, or Diddy song. Nobody's saying that as of right now. It's just silence. And like I said, is it fear? A lot of people in the industry owe their careers to the machinations of Puff, the moving and shaking the Bad Boy, the hits that came with it. A lot of people owe their careers to Puff. Maybe that's why they won't speak. On the business standpoint, I believe he still holds a lot of power behind the scenes, right? He's still a powerful dude, even locked up. He's still a powerful dude. What was that third one? What I said? Loyalty. Nope, not convicted yet. So they can really sit down and kind of just, because he ain't been convicted yet. So they don't necessarily have to come out of the gate throwing up middle fingers at Puff. They don't have to do that because he hasn't been convicted yet. So because at the end of the day, what if he beats all this case and then everybody who done, called him this and called him that? And he like, oh, really? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Puff is a powerful dude. Now, to counter all of that, we know that the industry waited years before distancing themselves from Harvey Weinstein. That dude, right? They waited and waited and waited. Hell, there's some still won't speak his name. So is Diddy's influence too big to challenge? Is he that big to where nobody will come through and say negative things about him or even speak positive, right? They just mum is the word, So I guess my question is, should artists and brands cut ties now, or should they wait for a legal decision? I think that's kind of hard on the brands, but it's a valid question. Should they just wait it out? Should they wait it out? So what happens next, right? This is what's coming up when it comes to Diddy. The depositions and the evidence review, we got more details could come through when with all of that gets through the wash. Potential settlement talks. Will he try to settle? I'm pretty sure settlement talks in, you know what I'm saying, on the horizon. I'm pretty sure that's gotta, you know what I'm saying? That's gotta be a talk him and his lawyers having. What can we settle? And I'm not saying everything should be or will be settled, but I'm pretty sure they're having those questions behind the scenes. But ultimately, I'm sure he wants to fight to clear his name, right? Then we got other lawsuits that could manifest, other cases, you know what I'm saying, could show up. Something real egregious could show up and make it even worse. I don't know how we get even worse from what's going on, but some, you know what I'm saying, even more egregious things could show up. Right? So my final question to y'all in this situation is, if you were Diddy's PR team, what would you advise? You know, would you fight back publicly? Would you stay quiet and let the courts decide? What would you do if you were Diddy's PR team? I would love to know that. I would love to know that, man. So leave your comments down below and y'all let me know. Please do that. Let's have a discussion down there. You know what I mean?